Okay, let's try this exponential and inverse question and see how we can do on it. Okay, it says here the graph of g of x equals a to the x is sketched. So this is g to the x. Hey, it's going backwards. If you knew your stuff, this is going to be a fraction. When it goes off backwards like this, it's the shape of an exponential graph like this. If it's going off to the right, then it's going to be an integer like 1 or 2 or 2 or 3 or something like that. Anyways, calculate the value of a. So how do we do that? Well, whenever they give you a point, all we got to do is take this 9 and minus 2 and plug it in. 9 is what y is here, g of x, and x is minus 2. So you just, instead of x, put in minus 2. Instead of a y, put in 9. Well, we've got to make these bases get it into a base sort of situation. So instead of 9, we make 3 squared. If we can make these exponents the same, then we can compare the base and find a. Well, what we're going to have to do is do something a little bit tricky here maybe, make it 3 to the minus 1 to the minus 2. Isn't minus 1 times minus 2 positive 2? Well, there you are. 3 to the minus 1 has to be what a is. That's the only way. If these exponents are the same, the base must be 1/3. 3 to the minus 1, 1/3. Well, there it is. Now say you've got a equals 1/3. Then you're off to the races because you can write out the equation. You can write out the equation that y equals 1/3 to the x power. Now to find the inverse, you've got like 2 or 3 steps here. All you do, the first thing you do, is you switch x and y. There you go. There's the inverse. Except it's not in the form y equals or g to the inverse, g to the minus 1x here like that, the inverse of x. So we're going to have to use the thing called logs. And an exponent is really a log. So this y is a log. Y equals a log of x to this base. You see, this is the base of the exponent. It's the base of the log, too. And there's your answer. Sometimes they ask for it in the form y equals, but they'd like it in this form. So instead of y as the inverse function, write g minus 1 of x. The inverse function of g is equal to the log of x to the base 1/3. Well, that's a lot of thinking. Let's just leave that part there. Let's leave it there.